Go follow Adam Rank on the socials. Time now for the backfield report. We're going to talk about guys who play in the shocking backfield.
Right.
Running back. I know in the greater world they are told that they don't matter, even though some of them do a really hard job and do it really, really well. In fantasy, we still care about them. So, Rank, how important is it to prioritize a running back early in draft?
No, I think it's very important. And I think, like, back in the day, if you were an old head like the two of us, you would, back in the day, we used to draft 2 running backs to start every draft. And there were actually enough RB1s to make it through 24 picks. It was an amazing time to be alive. I'm so sad that a lot of you missed that. But it is still one of the most important positions, and you can't just ignore it. You can't go back to the days of, like, if you do a 0 RB this year, I think you're going to end up regretting it. I think you really want to go out there and do the hero RB, where you get your stud running back, fill in some wide receivers, and then you go out there and you attack the running back position with some of the other guys. Now, if I'm early in the draft, Bijan Robinson is my top running back on the board, followed closely. Like, you know who's gaining on him right now for me is Jahmyr Gibbs, but I still have Bijan Robinson as a slight lean right now, and I think a big reason why is for some of the reasons we talked about earlier on with the Michael Penix getting the starting job right from the start of the season, which should make that offense more dynamic, because with Michael Penix is able to stretch the field, unlike Kirk Cousins was last year. That's going to open it up not only for Bijan running it, but as a receiver out of the backfield.
And then Breece Hall, you're on board.
Oh, I also have this one too. We're going back to back. Okay, this is what I don't understand about fantasy people or whatever, whoever's downgrading Breece Hall, because we do this all. Like, we all like Ben Johnson, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, we love Ben Johnson. Yeah. His right-hand man, Tanner Engstrand, is the offensive coordinator for the Jets. And everybody's like, well, Braylon Allen looks great. It's like, yeah, remember the Lions offense that had Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery? I'm not saying it's a one-for-one swap, but Breece Hall is going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs of Tanner's offense. Don't talk about it. I'm happy because I've been stealing Breece Hall because he is going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs of this season.
Yeah, I agree with Rank that you should, and I like going hero RB, right? But I like taking a wide receiver in round 1, primarily because I could get a RB1 like Devon Achane in round 2, who I think brings as much upside as the round 1 running backs. Like, last year, he averaged 23 fantasy points per game with Tua. That was better than Bijan, than Gibbs, than Saquon. He had the most fantasy points as a receiver amongst all running backs, and as a rookie, he averaged nearly 8 yards per carry. He could win in different ways. He dominates goal line volume. And if I miss out on him, Chase Brown is a great fallback in round 2. It took him a little bit to take over that backfield last year, but once he did, he was an RB1 each and every week. And from that point of him taking over on, his full season pace was 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 64 catches. That would have made him the RB5 on the season last year. So with Achane and Brown, I feel like I'm getting a potential top 5 fantasy running back at a bit of a discount, and it still allows me to grab my elite wide receiver in round 1.
Speaking of getting RB1s at a discount, if you decide you want to go wide receiver in round 1, Kyren Williams is still hanging around in the second round. I bring this up because, one, he looks like a workhorse running back. I also bring it up because I also kind of like poking our researcher and podcast co-host Laquan Jones in the ribs about this a little bit. Unless your name is Cam Akers, Sean McVay is pretty much a one running back coach, always has been. Yeah. Kyren Williams last year played at 81% of the snaps, was 3rd in the NFL in total touches, and somehow is still hanging around because I guess people think Blake Corum and or Jarquez Hunter are going to start taking food off his plate.
They paid him too, right?
They did.
They paid him.
They paid him.
The Rams are telling you what
they're telling you what they want to do. And then look, here's the thing: if you want to wait another round or 2 to get your second running back, there's DeAndre Swift.
There it is.
And Rank was talking about Breece Hall playing the Jahmyr Gibbs role in Tanner Engstrom's offense in New York. Well, DeAndre Swift is going to play the Jahmyr Gibbs role in Ben Johnson's offense in Chicago. It's a guy who had a career-high 1,300 scrimmage yards last year. He's had 39 or more receptions every single year of his career. I'm really high on the Bears offense this year, so I don't know why DeAndre Swift is hanging around in the 4th or 5th round, but
haters.
He is.
Just a bunch of haters.
Haters, man.
That last run that they showed against Commanders last year, that really turned the game around for the Bears in the moment until, how it ended. He's going to be a very valuable running back. He gets slept on way too much.
Absolutely. I absolutely love him this year. Talk some running back X factors now. These are the guys who potentially have a high ceiling, but there's kind of a little bit of a volatile floor. And I'm going to go to the guy who plays his games right there next door to us. That's Omarion Hampton. And people love Omarion Hampton. And I get it. You watch the tape. He pops. I'm just going to remind you, Najee Harris still walks the earth and draws breath and wears a uniform for the Los Angeles Chargers. Greg Roman's come out and said it. The one-back offense is pretty much going the way of Jurassic Park. They're going to use a rotation. I'm not going to spend a fourth-round pick on Omarion Hampton to have him end up as a Jaylen Warren type in an offense and just going to be disappointed.
No running back is more volatile than Christian McCaffrey. Look, 2-1, 54, 38, 2-1, 69. Those are his finishes the last 7 years amongst running backs. And considering where you take him early first round every year for years, he's either won you your league as the best player in fantasy, or he's lost you your league as finishing outside the top 50 running backs. We know his ceiling is the best player in fantasy, but the floor is that he misses a lot of time due to injuries. With him going in the middle of the first round right now, I totally understand the upside take there, but it is a bit of a risk.
I wanted to talk about Bucky Irving in this spot because last season, this was a player that I was extremely high on. And I'm like, people got to go out and draft him. Nobody believed it. And as I'm going through my drafts this season, it feels like people still don't want to believe it. I don't know if it's you made a mistake on this last year, so you don't want to get caught up in a situation where you're like, well, now that I'm in Bucky Irving, he's going to fall off the table. I don't think that it's possible. Going back and watching Bucky Irving play again this summer, I was like, you know what? I'm convinced now more than ever that Bucky Irving is going to be even better this season.
The hype is building around Bucky Irving in Tampa. Coming up, let me take